Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your show for weekly reviews, bringing you some of the best matches of the week with the funniest recaps, or at least we try to be the funniest recaps. I believe we are. I'm Lotus Knight. I am one of your hosts for tonight, and I am joined by three of the best hosts THL has to offer. First of all, on our top left corner, weighing 89 pounds, 23 of which are his hair. His real name, contrary to popular belief, is not Ron. It is actually
Hey, don't dox
Bob.
me. Oh no.
And um, as everyone knows, his favorite card ever in Hearthstone is Mindrender Lucia. How are you, Ron?
Oh, thank you so much, Lotus, for that kind and not at all dishonest introduction. I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here as always and excited to break down the week that was in THL action and happy to be here by some amazing additional hosts as well.
Yeah, that's right. We have bottom left corner here. We have DeSharmo, our everyone's favorite board member, directly from Los Angeles today, and everyone knows his favorite Hearthstone card is the Peasant. How are you, DeSharmo?
Actually, I kind of like the peasants, so
See,
joke's on you.
sometimes I'm going to get it right.
I'm all right. Just tired, like I had mentioned to you earlier. But I think we have a nice show in store for everybody,
Yeah, we
and
do.
no Ron hating jokes today.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to avoid those the whole show. Our battlegrounds expert, who's been crushing it on BGs, is here. Steffi, your favorite card, as everyone knows, is Frostlich Jaina. How are you doing?
Oh, what a babe. I'm
I
doing
love that
great.
too.
I was about to say, okay, babes with babes. I feel that. How are you doing, Lotus, though? Let's self-reflect. How are we doing tonight?
You know, I'm really happy to be here. I enjoy this show so much. I'm just so happy to be here with you all.
You just make me want to cry. Lotus Night. You're so nice.
Aw. It's fun.
Such a nice guy for sure. Lotus in competition with Saku for nicest guy in THL. You won't win,
Never going to
but
win
you're
that.
very close.
You're like top 5,
Uh,
though, so
I'm
take
like
that victory.
biting my tongue to say something mean to Ron right now.
I mean, I'm here for it. Go nuts.
Um, so we have a lot for today's show. We're going to start with Player of the Week, which we are bringing back. We didn't do last week because you all asked for a ton extra content, but we do have Player of the Week today. We're going to follow Player of the Week with our recaps, and every recap is going to follow with the PPW or PPR Player Power Rankings for that week. Keep in mind that, or for this week, for that series, there's no player power ranking for Battlegrounds because it's kind of obvious. It's just whoever's doing super well in their lobbies. And it's way harder to calculate if we want a formula. And we already don't trust the formula that we use. So we're not going to do it for
Technically,
BGs.
I did write a top 8 of players. So
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
technically, I can do this for you.
So we might get Steffi's super secret, unofficial Prima guide of the top 8 Battlegrounds players. Wait for that.
Stay tuned,
And
folks.
yeah, is everyone ready for the show?
Let's
Oh,
go.
absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
So we're going to begin with our player of the week, and we're going to start with Hero Series. Steffi, Hero Series player of the week. Who got player of the week in Hero?
I'm so excited to talk about the player of the week of my favorite series in THL. So, the hero player of the week is none other than Dr. Fish. Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Sporting an amazing 6-1 score on the season, Dr. Fish is looking very strong in the 5 seed. This week was no different as there was a 140 PR difference between him and his opponent. Fish took a well-deserved 3-1 victory, helping to get F2L in first place and solidify the max points possible for the team. That was from the 1 and only Corridon. So congrats, Dr. Fish.
Congrats,
Nice.
Fish. Yeah, strong performance by him. And another strong performance by our legacy player of the week. Ron, do you want to read out this one?
Absolutely. So, our legacy player of the week goes to Mick. Cheesy 10 had an undefeated record, and the 2 seed for All Pros missing had been the strongest player on his team and one of the strongest in legacy as a whole. But who's to stop him? It is Mick, another crazy player who has not been getting the praise he deserves. Stopped the undefeated streak with a sweep. And things are looking golden for the Golden Wisps. Brought to you by one and only Lotus Knight.
Yeah. I guess my hero teammate is also killing it in legacy.
Yeah, congratulations. That's a huge win there. Just anytime you knock off an undefeated player
Yes.
and spoil that perfect season, it's got to feel good. So congrats to Mick. That's a big win.
Oh yeah. And especially looking at who it was, it's someone who's done super well in ladder, and I think even in THL. He was in THL a long time ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I just noticed Desharmo's new background.
I almost commented, but I wasn't trying to interrupt.
Well played, bud.
Desharmo, do you want to tell us our pro player of the week today? Or this week?
Absolutely. Our pro player of the week is longtime THL member Reeb Bobson. F2L is back in pro in a big way, and last week they took down last season's runner-ups, Popeye Spicy Chicken Sandwich. A highlight match of the 13-10 contest was Reeb Bobson's sweep over fellow player of the week, Mick. The captain put the team on his back last week, bringing home a big W for F2L as we head into the final stretch of the season. Written based.
Yeah. Really strong performance by Rebob. Anyone has any words on Rebob's insane performance in pro before we talk about our BG's player of the week?
Just, good to see Mr. F2L showing up and reminding you that he's still got some game. And pretty impressive to take down the person who just won Player of the Week in another series, too, at that.
Yes.
So congrats to him for sure.
For sure.
Says a lot.
And a sweep, no less, as well. Go figure.
Mm-hmm. Steffi, do you want to tell us about our Battlegrounds player of the week?
Heck yeah, I do. So our fourth and final player of the week is the stud himself, Myanodon. So coming into the last week, right before playoffs, the fourth spot was still up for grabs with 3 teams in a heated battle for the last spot. It really was heated. With the first place in round 1 and a 7th place in round 2, Myanodon was able to secure Don to Apes' 4th place by 0.2 points. We will have to see what happens in the next 2 weeks of playoff action. Again by Corridon.
Wow. He
Mhm.
almost pulled off the Ricky Bobby, but he knew that if he did, he wouldn't get playoffs for his team. So he's like, all right, I'll get the 7th instead.
Truly. He did that.
Like to
Yeah.
see it.
Now, any final comments on player of the week before we move to our first series, to Hero Series?
Let's jump into it.
Awesome. So Hero Series has been really hot, and we saw a change with F2L Black now going to first place instead of at Diamond. I will call our hero representative for tonight, Steffi. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this lineup? And we'll help you by naming some of the teams that grew over the last week.
So you want me to talk about the players?
Oh no, just name some of the teams that are in the standings here that you find interesting.
Obviously. Okay, let me take a look. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Taking a glance, it's actually pretty close. Even let's see, there's what about 20, 30, 40-point difference from first to last. But regardless, it still seems really close. So we got
Yes.
F2L Black coming in hot, 117 points. At Diamond coming in almost as hot with 114 points. The studs, Dad Legend. Who doesn't love a little Daddy Legend with 113 points? And we got a tie with Without Turt. We must still as well as Bands, because we make them dance, with 106. Both of them tied. Darn. These teams are really showing up and showing out. We got a couple ties too, if we're looking at the team records. But overall, a lot of fourth, fifth wins up at the top. I don't know. These teams are coming in hot, looking like heroes to me. Did it?
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, incredible. That one gets the Lotus stamp of approval
Yes.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
glad.
that
I'm
was
glad.
great, Steffi.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here all night, folks.
But yeah, this is cool to see a big shakeup in Hero as well. In recent weeks, Bolner Jams 03 has been up at the top and got demolished in their last week. So kind of plummeted from, I think it was either first or second all the way down to like the number 6 spot.
Yes.
F2L Black just
Mhm.
skyrocketed way up there, at Diamond kind of holding on to their strong lead there. And then you've got your other contenders just in the mix. APM, no pros here, still within striking distance, and
Mhm.
it's going to be a pretty tough one to make playoffs for the bottom teams there in Mast, Photosim Confidence, Snakes, and Tan Pams. Still theoretically possible, I believe, but
Yes.
pretty rough.
It's very close.
Yeah.
Especially those top mid teams. Those mid teams. Oof.
Speaking of mid teams, should we get going with our first match of the week?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Well, I'll call DeSharmo to talk to us about Bands Making Dance versus Bolner Jams 03. So, DeSharmo, I want to ask you, did someone here get clapped this week?
Well, yes, somebody got seriously clapped, and that would be Bolner Jams getting jammed this week. I guess that wasn't good enough for Lotus Night, so we'll move on.
Oh, it was great. I enjoyed it.
All right.
I'm loving the puns. I can't complain here. It's just you don't see my face.
All right, yeah. So Bands picking up a big win here. I mean, and it was really much needed. I believe both teams, well, Boulder Jams was ahead of Bands, and this sort of thrusts Bands up into the mix of playoffs. They're still in the thick of it. Technically, in terms of rec team record, they have the second best record behind at Diamond. But point wise, they're down there in the 5th place, which I believe the top 6 are going to make it. So teams really want to go for those top 2 positions. I believe they get buys.
Yes.
So they're sort of heading towards that direction with still a few more weeks left because Hero is a very long season. But this is a big pickup for Bands here to pick up this win and put themselves right in the mix of it, and probably the perfect time to get hot. And looking at the scores, I mean, 2 matches were close, and the 3 and the 4, but everybody else was kind of a beatdown. So congratulations to Bands, and looking forward to seeing if they can keep this going.
Yep, they took it to us. Base got me pretty good. Nails got a win over one of his wins against Donde came when Donde had more than 40 armor and was feeling safe. And nope, not safe. Props to Ted and Anfall for making it close. And then Quaz, unfortunately, was not able to pick up a victory. But, there's still time to bounce back for Bands. Huge win, much needed, and flips the positioning, gets them into that playoff race. Well done.
Yeah. Everyone ready for our next match?
For sure.
I'm so ready.
So, Steffi, since you named them before, tell us a little bit about Daddy Legend versus
I knew. I was like,
Vote
give
of
me the
Some
daddies.
Conference.
Aw. All right. So we got the daddies coming in hot. Oh, they really are coming in hot. Okay. Ice Cleese taking that 3-1 against Heat Shock from Vote of Some Confidence. Starlax taking a 3-2 against Skillets. Corridon taking 3-1 against Ridiculous Hat. That's definitely a feat for sure. We have Risen, unfortunately, taking a loss here against Thalfix, 1-3, but still getting 1 point, and every point counts. And then Yellow Dart coming in hot with 3-2 against Jim Phyllis. So the daddies were really they were showing up, right? They were like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take out vote of some confidence. They only have some confidence, so I'm gonna take the rest of their confidence and move my way up. And I'm now sitting pretty number 3. Even though what is it? There's about what 4 weeks still left in Hero Series. So there's still definitely time for some of these other players to work their way up. But also a lot of time for these top players to secure the bag, if you will, and
Yes.
keep those top placements. But not really surprised to see all of these victories over in Dad Legend. They're very, very strong, heavy hitters over here, especially when you look at Starlax and Corridon, currently sitting at 6-1. That is
Yeah.
very impressive. That's not something to, blink at, especially when your 3 seed is doing really well. A lot of times in these matches, that can make a big difference. Like the kind of that's like the,
Mhm.
one of the teetering placements. So having a strong 3 seed is really important. So congratulations to Dad Legend.
Yeah. I mean, Steffi does say that because she usually plays in the 2 or 3 seeds. So,
What
um,
can I say? The best. Corridon's
the
the
self
best.
prop.
Ridiculous That's the best. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Nice,
No.
nice. Yeah, good point though too with Hero having a longer season than the rest because we're almost playoff time for
Mhm.
Legacy and Pro, I believe. But for Hero, it's still got a solid 4 weeks left. For Legacy and Pro, we're what 2 weeks remaining?
Yeah. And
That
BG's
sounds about
is
right.
done with regular season.
Yeah, BG is just starting playoffs right now. So Hero is the series that's taking a bit longer, and well, that and Wild maybe as well. For all your Wild content, tune into the Wild show.
Yeah.
Nice plug.
Awesome. So, we've talked about the daddies. Now it's
Yeah.
time to talk about No Pros Here versus Mast. And Ron, do you want to lead this one?
For sure. So no pros here going up against some members of the defending champs last hero season in Mast, and they take a close victory, 14-11. I think this one
Nice.
again, because there's 4 weeks left. If it was in the 2 week stretch, I'd say this one really kind of hurts Mass chances. But they're staying within striking distance. 11 points in a loss is not bad. And for no pros here, just kind of slowly moving their way up into that top 6 range. If playoffs started today, they would be out of the picture, but they got some time to make up that gap. And props to Agent PWE starting off, leading off the team with a 3-1 victory over Alien Santa. Incredible season, just carrying everybody with that 6-1. Your mom kid had a close loss to sub Yockster in a 5-game series. Always Lethal took down Pasca in a sweep, but there was a sweep right back for no pros here with Snake Fods taking the 3-0 over Saku in the 5, and Chewbacca, uh, typical 5 seed, but actually hanging out in the 4 for no pros here and doing well, getting a 5-game
Mhm.
win over 2-star Mako himself, the captain of Mast, in a match that, if it had gone the other way, it would have gone the other way for the teams as well. So props to Chewbacca there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was just such a strong showing from both sides. I think Mast is a team that they didn't do great so far. They had a rough start this season, but I do think they're still contenders if they can take these last few weeks and start scoring the points. They don't have any time to waste. I think one more loss is
Mhm.
probably it, but they're going to need to start strong from now on.
Yeah, hero is stacked. What else is new? I
Yes.
think that's a line we've been saying for multiple seasons now, as it just seems like every season Hero has just a unbelievable roster of strong players, and this season being no different.
Mhm.
If there's any team you could say is out of it, it would have to be Tan Pams, and I honestly don't think they're out of it yet. And
I
every other
agree.
team is above 80 points and, has a realistic shot if they catch fire in the next 4 weeks, they can make it.
I 100% agree. Any final comments about these 3 matches before the one and only Steffi presents to us the player power rankings for Hero Series?
Ooh, I want to hear power rankings.
Okay, Steffi. Let's start with
That's
the
me.
honorable mentions. Who is the power ranking for Hero Series?
All right, these honorable mentions are definitely honorable to say the least. So we have Ron Mexico with a current placement of 5'2", 16, 18, or excuse me, 18, 12. We have Donde. Look at him. He's honorable. Currently with a 4'3", 16, 11
I
for
love that
his
you
super
had no
technical.
enthusiasm for me there, Steffi, but so much for Dande. Thank you. Thank you. I feel loved.
No, it's because the joke that Donde always does that, but like he's
True, true.
not. Everybody expects you to do really well. So you're just
Oh,
you're proving your point, man.
incorrect, but appreciated.
We have always just in time, also with a 5'2". 18. Oh, look, you guys are the same. You're twins. 9 eyebrows as well with the 5'2", 16 to 10, win loss. And then Dr. Bombed. Am I saying that right? Bombed? Because they're the
Uh,
bomb.
BOMD, I think it's a play on medical doctor, and BO is like an abbreviation for what he does in the medical field.
Gosh, that's so
Huh.
specific. Okay, Dr. BOMD coming in hot with the 4-2 right now, 16 win, 18 loss total.
And he
So
just had
those
a
are our honorable
newborn too.
mentions. He's a
True? Yeah.
daddy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got to put in that
Congrats to
application for
children.
Daddy Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He's the Dr. Daddy.
Oh my god. Steffi's
uh,
gonna coin a new name for somebody every time she's on. I
oh, that
can't
would be
for it.
great.
That's what I'm here for. So those
Steffi,
are honorable mentions.
those are some
Yeah.
great honorable mentions other than Ron Mexico and Donde. I want to congratulate
Match fit.
Just in Time, 9 Eyebrows, and Dr. BOMD.
Love to see it.
Now,
Yes, perfect.
who did make the top 10? Who was actually good enough to make the top 10, Steffi?
So if we're talking about perfect, so my question before I start saying names, do you want me to start at 10 and work my way back up, or do you want me to start at 1 and work my way down?
Well, let's start it from the bottom, and now we're here.
All right, started from the bottom and now we're here. Number 10, we have Nice Jewish Owl with a placement of 5'2", 16-8. Starlax coming in with number 9 with 6-1. That is really impressive with 19 wins to 13 loss. Nails coming in with number 8 with a 5-2. But that 18 win to 9 loss, that's like super close. That's really good. Oh my god, everybody's so impressive. Number 7, we got Nomad Farmer, 5 wins, 2 losses, 19-9. We got Based Inc. I love girl power. 5-2 with the 17 wins, 10 loss. Number 5, the other daddy. We have Cora Din sitting with 6-1, 18-8. Number 4 is Agent PWE with a 6-1 to 20 wins, 12 loss. Number 3, Dr. Fish with a 6-1, 20-9. Number 2, we got Super Chicken, also 6-1 with the 20-10. But our number 1 holding the crown, sitting pretty with diamonds on it, is Diamond himself with the 5-2 of 18 wins to 9 loss. Look at these stats. You can't tell me that none of these people on this page are not impressive. Because they are.
Agreed.
They're
Yeah?
impressive.
I mean, obviously, totally rigged.
Yeah.
How do we have Diamond up there at number 1? Come on, Diamond. You're bribing Donde. Something's fishy here. I see 4 6-1 players below you. But in all seriousness, congrats to all of these players. It's
All the
awesome
players.
to make it on this list. You know, it shows a lot of effort and a lot of skill.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Any comments anyone wants to give about our insane hero power ranking players before we move on to everyone's favorite hilarious series, Battlegrounds?
A quick little side note for Hero compared to Legacy right now. Myself and my Hero teammate Dr. Fish are on this power rankings list for Hero at 5-2 and 6-1 respectively. We are both 1-6 in Legacy. You're welcome, guys. I don't know.
Fair?
Sorry, Amberflight Gaming. That's our bad. I guess we missed our focus.
Yeah? I guess
But yeah, let's talk some BGs.
you did not take off yet.
Oh.
So we're going to do it a little bit different from BG. Since this is playoff week, instead of starting with how the teams are going in the standings, we're going to do standings last. So, Steffi, join me in talking about the green lobby in which you played and performed kind of okay. Tell me a little bit, how
So don't
was
start with me.
that?
Oh, this was 2 weeks
Oh, is
ago.
that
Do you
the
want me to
2 weeks
talk
ago
about
one?
last week?
Okay, I am
Yeah.
fixing it.
Well,
So it
can we
decided.
acknowledge how great I did? Can we talk about this week? No, I'm just kidding.
I am
I
just
can pull it
fixing
up
it
really
because
quickly on my
the
end.
stream decided to reboot everything I had prepared for this. So, one
Oh, you're
second.
fine.
Okay, it is
I'm gonna
here.
pull up last
Now
week's.
we have Concede Your Match, Crafty Monkeys, and Risky Refresh.
That's better.
3 teams that were in the top 4 facing against each other 1 week before they face against each other probably again. How did it go, Steffi?
So this was definitely a tight one. As you can see, a lot of these players, there was a lot of ties. So for starting off with Friday, we have Riots coming in hot, getting 17 points for Risky Refresh with a first place win and then a third place victory. But then your Momkad right underneath, kind of doing the reversed order, getting third, fourth, the first lobby, and then snagging that first place with the second lobby. We have Lomninko getting a double fourth, which is respectable because, again, in Battlegrounds, top 4 is considered a victory. So just getting that top 4 is crucial for your points for your team.
Right.
For Concede Your Match, we have Turtle getting 6th, 5th, which is a little surprising because Turtle was one of the players that really was coming in hot in the beginning of the season. But being able to pick it up and getting that second is really important. Still being able to bring in those points for their team. Crafty Monkeys. Also for Crafty Monkeys, you have Damon getting a second place and then a fifth place, but also tied with 6th and 7th because it's Battlegrounds and sometimes everybody just dies. Terpsy getting a 7th as well as a 6th, again, 5th, 7th, awkward tie. For Risky Refresh. And then our bottom 2 players, Fire Emblem, getting a 5th and an 8th, and Blue Jay getting an 8th and a 7th, unfortunately. Just not being able to get enough points for their team, Phantom Force. But yes, right? I said that correctly. Let me make sure. Let me pull up my teams. I don't want to accidentally put somebody on wrong team and then I go back and I look dumb and then I am embarrassed because that is the type of person I am. Let
Fair.
me get a do. Nope, I don't make mistakes. I was correct. All right.
Heyo.
But then we have Sunday coming in hot, as one does on Sundays. You have Agent PWE. So this is a player that every time I see them, I was always a little nervous because last season they did really, really, really well. And this season, it started a little shaky, but we can see, especially with their points sitting with 76.7, which is nothing to bat an eye about, really doing their part to bring in some points for Concede Your Match, which I think really helped them hit that playoff slot. Because for a while, it didn't look like Concede Your Match was going to. But getting that third place, third, fourth tie, as well as first place in the second lobby, those first places are crucial. You have Rice Bowl, another player, again, who I remembered from last season, who was killing it, getting double second, which is impressive, but unfortunately just not enough for Team Phantom Force to get into the top 4. We got my boys coming in hot with a first and a fourth, fifth, but we still take those fourths for Risky Refresh. Sharkbait with a strong fourth, third place placement, but then taking a 7th. The second round for Team Phantom Force. You have this queen, unfortunately not having the best first game, but was able to snag a third in the second lobby to accumulate just a few more points for Risky Refresh to make Crafty Monkeys, squirm a little bit. We got Canoe. Again, not the strongest week for Canoe, another player who has been forming incredibly well throughout the season, taking a 6th and a 5th, but that just shows you that really good players can sometimes take a hit. Snake Vods with a 5th, 6th, and Nice Jewish Out, again, a great example of great players that sometimes just have an off week, taking a 7th and an 8th. So this was the last week before playoffs, and like I know was kind of briefly mentioned, this was a big one because it was really close with like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and like 6th place teams. They were really close. So, yeah.
Yeah, this was
Mhm.
just kind of a crazy week.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of expecting the top four to go, like for the finals to go one way, and it turned out a little different. So, who are the top scorers? Diamond. I love talking data and bragging. So that is something I'm happy to answer
um,
when the time is right.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
you
get
want to
there.
do the blue lobby and then go
Yeah.
over it?
Let's
Nice.
go to the blue lobby.
We got to talk
So
about the blue lobby.
we had Bill Snyder in the blue
Mhm.
lobby this week. Tell me a little bit about that, Steffi.
Who doesn't love Bill Snyder? Can we
Right?
just like talk about that?
Yeah.
That's like the real part. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love him? And also coming in hot as a sub, getting a double second. Who was
Right?
he subbed in for that week? Was that for the OnlyFans? I believe he was subbing for one of the players for OnlyFans. I'm trying to look.
Wasn't he?
There's been a lot of subs this season, so
Didn't
it's
he sub
hard.
for Ron?
No,
I'm not playing PGs.
he's not playing
Oh,
BGs.
wait, who was in this? It was someone in. Okay, I might
I
be
believe it was
mistaken.
somebody with OnlyFans.
Okay.
I think because
Yeah,
I
I
also
think
believe
Diamond's right. I
June.
think it's Dark Side.
It was for Dark Side. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, so it was for Dark Side and OnlyFans. So Bill Snyder taking that double second, and honestly, that was a crucial one because Daryl and Flurgle OnlyFans was really pivoting to either landing that top four, and honestly, that was the team I thought was also going to be in the top four. So to see them take that six by just like few points was pretty alarming. Um, you have Reverb getting a sixth place in the first lobby, but dusting it off to get first place in the second lobby. So representing Friends of Bob. We have Muvi, which was they've been a very strong player this season as well. Getting a double third. First one with a few ties, but that's okay. You're still getting your points. You're doing your thing for OnlyFans. We have Myanodon coming in hot, getting a first place. But then taking a seventh. However, that seventh, that mattered. Those points, they mattered to really secure that Donde eighth top four spot. And then Donde getting a fifth as well as a fourth. But again, those ties, giving those extra points, really make a difference. You have June with taking a seventh and a fifth place, who I believe was also subbing, but I cannot speak 100% on who they were subbing for. Kind of hard to keep track of that. We have
Mhm.
Yashter um, getting a fourth, very respectable fourth as well, but then taking an eighth, unfortunately, for Venari's Virtuosos, and then Dr. Fish, unfortunately, taking that eighth, and then sixth again for Venari's Virtuosos. So that was for Friday night. Sunday night, Wild Nine coming in hot, getting a first and a second. For fun, because that's the cool thing to do for Friends of Bob. Friends of
Mhm.
Bob really showed up this week too. It was close. Danka's dad was a sub. I believe they were also subbing for yeah, they were in for Daryl and Flurgle OnlyFans. Getting a second and first. So they still performed really well, but that just showed the pressure that Don Eighth did put on the teams. Ligor getting a double fourth, respectable double fourth. We definitely take those for Venari's Virtuosos. Jammies taking a third, but then unfortunately taking an eighth for Don Eighth. Sly Snail. Okay, so this isn't 100% updated, so I'm not sure if they got third or if they got sixth. They were subbing.
Yeah, it's not
For
updated on the website.
Yeah, so I think that was just sometimes, that accidents do
Yeah.
happen. Um, well, that actually kind of matters because Brushy Tuna is on Don Dave. So, I mean, I guess now they still have more points, so I guess it actually doesn't matter. It just pushes them ahead a little bit more.
All I see is
Anyway,
Tuna's in last place. Straight garbage.
Isn't that better?
can you get good? Yeah, that is better. That means they have an extra point. If it was reversed, that would have been a problem. Superhero getting fifth and seventh. So again, respectable fifth place, especially against these heavy hitters. But then unfortunately taking a second for Friends of Bob. Phoenix getting sixth and then taking a fifth. And then, like I said, Brushy taking a sixth. And then who knows what? Who knows what Brushy was doing? Do any of
Yeah.
us know? That's the real
Never.
question.
No, but I do want to send Hearthcenter's condolences for Tuna's position and hope for his recovery, because Tuna's an esteemed Hearthcenter guest.
Is esteemed the right word? Well,
Sure.
moving on.
It's
um.
questionable.
Probably more like estranged.
Oh, nice.
Got him.
So that said, should we talk team standings, Steffi, as well as that super secret unofficial top 8 list?
Yeah, I made a top 8 list that was totally not biased. I almost made it biased, but I was like, nah, that's not fair. So if we're looking at the current standings, point wise, we have Crafty Monkey sitting at 349.2 points. Very respectable. However, we also have in second place Risky Refresh sitting at a 336.6 points. Also very respectable. Concede Your Match really swinging in to snag that third place spot with 297.7 points. And then we have Donned Eighth sitting in fourth with that 269 nice 0.7 points. So just the extra points to secure that fourth place to those 4 teams are going to be making their way to playoffs for the next 2 weeks. However, if we keep going, Daryl and Flurgle OnlyFans, a team that was really performing very well this season with 269 nice 0.5 points. Friends of Bob, who the last few weeks have really been putting in that fight. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough with 263.7 points. Team Phantom Force with 251.1 points. Again, very respectable. And Venari's Virtuosos with 242.1 points. So lots of points to go around. But I definitely think we can see from the first and second place teams and that little bit of a gap, this is going to be really interesting playoffs, to say the least.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and we'll see if Dondaith can break out of just happy to be there, because what a heartbreaker for Daryl and Flurgle. They're
I know.
0.2 away
Right?
from
I
making
know.
playoffs.
That's
And they were
crazy.
a top team. Like I honestly expected. Well, Concede Your Match also squeezed their way in the last few weeks. Originally, they were kind of they were not even kind of they were hovering at the bottom for most of the
Yeah,
season,
and
and
then they
then
went on a
something
tear.
happened.
Yeah,
They were like, just kidding. Um,
new meta maybe.
Psych. Um, yeah, so the next 2 weeks are definitely going to be spicy to say the least. And I'm excited to see it because my secret list, and by secret I mean literally me just looking at the data, um, put together a top 8 list of players throughout the whole season. So I don't want to do what's the quick math. If there's 8 teams and there's 4 people per each team, what is that? 8 times
32.
4, 32. So out of the 32 players competing this season, these are the top 8 based off their current point total. So number 8, we have Nice Jewish Owl with 79.8 points, representing Crafty Monkeys. We have in number 7, we have Turtle with 84 points, also representing Crafty Monkeys. So very scary. We have number 6, we have Steffi with 85.8 points, representing Risky Refresh. In 5th place, we have Lol Ninko with 86.7 points for Concede Your Match. Number 4, we have Damon with 91.3 points representing the Monkeys. Number 3, we have Canoe with 94.1 points, also representing the Monkeys. So all 4 players for Crafty Monkeys are in the top 8 of all players this season.
That's crazy.
We have It's really crazy. um, number 2, we have Zuzuru with 97.8 points representing Risky Refresh. And then our number 1 player this season is Riot with 99.5 points. He couldn't quite hit that 100, but he's in here
Oh,
coming
almost hit the
hot,
100 mark.
coming
Oh,
in hot. He's 100 in my book.
That's
Also
incredible.
representing Risky Refresh. So 3 of the 4 players in Risky Refresh are also in top 8 of the players. And then, of course, Lil Ninko had to squeeze his way up in the top. We're not surprised by that.
yeah.
So yeah, these were the players that were really performing this season. Um, I mean, the data, if we look at their teams, it really does speak for itself. Not surprised to see these players in the top 8. So,
Yeah, I mean
those are the ones
that's
to watch
really
out for.
crazy. Like I agree. This next upcoming playoff is going to be very interesting to watch with the Crafty Monkeys at 4 players in the top 8 and Risky Refresh at
Yeah.
3 players in the top 8. That's just nuts.
Yeah. I
True.
do want to thank our special report from Vicious Stefficate here.
Ooh,
Just
nice.
bringing all the hottest BG's data to us. Unofficial report.
That's all I know.
It's the podcast version.
Um, Now, I will bring us to our caster screen for our Twitch Prime advertisement. I want to pose a challenge today to Desharmo. Desharmo, do you want to try to take Ron's role this week of doing the Twitch Prime sub as fast as you can? Can you beat Ron?
He's got a new background again. Amazing.
I think Desharmo's muted right now. At least we cannot hear him.
Sharma, you're doing great.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking to myself, so yeah.
You're doing
Let
great.
me flip this around so it's facing the right way so you guys can see. Anyway. I was saying that I don't even have it up, so I'd be willing to say it, but
No, that's fair. Ron, do you have it up?
Yeah, naturally.
Do you have it up?
Well, if you want me to dive into it, I'm happy to.
Go for
or
it.
if you want Desharmo to go. Okay.
I would usually do a chat poll, but that will take way too long.
I'm here. I got it.
Oh, you got it? All right. Take it away,
Ooh,
Desharmo.
challenger accepted.
Are you ready? I'm gonna say it fast and I'm gonna stumble a million times. All right.
Yep, that's what we're here for.
All right, here we go. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth Legends yet? Then make the day to be there. I messed up already. The day to be a legend yourself and subscribe to our channel. The subscription enables the THL team to help cover various costs of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, you can sub to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep notifications on to make sure you can catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special notes to our viewers. Check out THL's other social media points of interest website, thl.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord, Team Hearth Legends. Check out the THL PAL podcast for power rankings for all series, wherever you find your podcasts. The true Hearth legend himself, Sako, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search them for Team Hearth Legends to catch everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. For all of you THL fanatics out there, there are THL shows every single day of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone-related. Back to the good part.
Nice.
Awesome.
Great job, Desharmo. Well done.
That was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That was great.
Yeah, you did amazing. And next time I will challenge Steffi to it. So I hope she
Nice.
memorized everything.
That's all I do. I memorize everything. I know this whole conversation we had.
I'm sure.
So we've talked Battlegrounds. We've talked Hero. Should we go into Ron's second favorite series, Legacy?
Hey, let's do it.
Okay, Ron, tell me a little bit about Gold Conference. How has Gold Conference been doing for Legacy? Are the Golden Wisps still on top?
All right, so legacy time. You kidding me? Are the Golden Wisps still on top of Gold Conference? Of course they are. It's Gold Conference. They've been destroying this conference all season long, and this week is no different. 124 points, 6-1 record, 17 points per week. Just insane. And that legendary Wisp is proving it deserves that legendary status. Just incredible what this team is doing this season. They've kind of separated themselves from the pack. The rest of the teams, though, there are quite a few contenders still in the mix. Defias Brotherhood up on the screen with their logo at 113 points on a 5-2 record. Cult Legacy having a very strong season as well at 112 and 5-2, and the Light Showers coming in that coveted 4th spot right now for gold, with 109 and a 4-3 record. The Daddies Steffi. They're almost there.
Mm.
They're moving on up. It's 101.
Unbelievable.
They're in striking distance, of course. And then you have some teams that are kind of fighting to get in there. The playoff dream is fading for Meme Dream Team and for Flame Pimps, who interestingly enough were two teams that were completely dominant in silver for multiple seasons.
Yes.
But having a bit of a rough season
Mm.
this time around. And then lastly, Serenite Pangang, unfortunately, has not been able to do anything to buy a win just yet, and are going to have to be hoping for a better season next time.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, as we look in the matches, this was a cross-conference week. So all teams are facing teams
Mm.
from other conferences. We're still going to feature 2 gold teams, 2 silver teams, and 2 red teams, but just want to make it clear that we're going to be doing this a little bit different since they're not facing teams inside their same conferences.
True.
Our first match, why don't we follow the Golden Wisps as they play All Pros Missing? I'll call Desharmo for this one. Desharmo, want to tell me a little bit about those Wisps?
Yeah, of course. Golden Wisp really strong this season. Um, playing, I don't know what because it's not up on the screen yet.
All Pros Missing. It should be up really, really soon.
Yeah, I
Boom.
don't know what's going on with this. It's like a massive delay for. I kept trying to refresh it all the whole time. All right, here we go. Golden Wisp playing All Pros Missing. This was the cross conference week, and All Pros Missing, really strong team in another conference. And Golden Wisp just showing how dominant they are in the Gold Conference and showing other conferences, hey, you better watch out for us in the playoffs. And basically, the 2 to 4 just really, really strong wins across the board, and each close match was worth a worthy opponent. The biggest pickup here is Mick's 3-0 over Cheese, who was undefeated up to this point, and Mick himself was 3-3, and a very wide PR disadvantage there as well. So, congrats on Mick on picking that and also being the player of the week. And then Roadrunner, a little bit of a PR difference there. I think Chewbacca is a highly underrated 5 seed. I mean 5 and 2, and showing, hey, you know what? I'm still content. I'm still a part of this team as well. So congratulations to Golden Wisps and All Pros Missing. Still, we'll see. We'll look at their conference in a little bit. Still very good position as well.
Yeah, this was just such a strong showing for Golden Wisps. Only Avi, the only player not to play Hearthstone and still win most of his matches. No one knows how that happens.
Classic Avi.
Yeah. Ron, any thoughts on this match before we move on?
Nothing that Desharmo hasn't already said. Just I got to mention Bone Masher's comment though that APM only losing in the cross conference matches. Go figure. Well, hopefully that's something you guys can get figured out come playoff time for your chances, because you're not going to be playing your conference in playoffs all the time. But
Burn.
Wisps just doing their thing.
Yeah. Ron, I'll ask you to stick with me to talk about our next match. We have the Meme Dream Team facing Amber Flight Gaming. And Ron, tell me
Yes.
what happened here.
Oh, I would love to relive this. This is
Yeah.
great. It's so great. Look, man, somebody needs to get Neji some help.
Right?
All right, Neji, I am so sorry. You're having a great season. It's so impressive. 7-0, just killing it.
I gotta
And
say,
then the
though,
rest of the team, we're just letting you
garbage, but
down.
but Neji Boston, it is a hidden PR when you're above 550 or below
Yeah.
50 points.
Mhm.
Neji's PR is almost 1,000.
Wow.
His hidden PR is almost 1,000.
That's
He's in the
petrifying.
900 range, 950 or something.
Yeah.
Kind of nuts. Neji actually with more wins than the rest of the team combined. Just everyone else on Amber Flight Gaming, yours truly, and the rest just scrubs. What can you say? But to go through the matches, Neji doing his thing, taking the 3-1 over Easy Bake. Itachi showing up big in his return. After having some weather-related issues and the like, and internet issues and so on, bounces back and got the 3-2 over Interval, and then it was all Meme Dream Team from there, with Mini taking a dominant 3-1 over, Legacy, quote unquote, expert in the Hall of Fame for Legacy. Somehow, these these seem like things that don't make any sense. F Srirachi taking the 3-2 over Dr. Fish, and Mike Hurst getting a 3-1 over Saku for a dominant 3-4-5 victory for Meme Dream Team, taking that 15-12 and trying to keep that gold playoff dream alive.
Mm-hmm. Anyone wants to say anything else about this match or gold before we move into the red conference?
I think Ron is going to stop making fun of me for playing in the 3 seed now.
Oh.
I actually have a winning record in the 3 seed.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Ron is tanking his PR so we can make a
This-
crazy Legacy
He wants
team
to
next
battle
season.
Yeah,
you.
this is PR management season for sure.
Yeah.
This is working smarter.
We'll call it
honestly,
that.
in the background.
Yeah, also known as the 2-star Mako.
Nice.
Yes.
Got him.
Now, shall we talk about red conference?
Let's go.
Red
Let's
hot.
do it.
Now, the red conference, we have Bluefish and Justin, Team Justin Credible, standing in the top 2 places. Steffi, why don't you tell me about this one?
All right, the red conference. Ooh, see, this one's a little bit closer. I like it when it's really close, especially at this point of the season where I believe there's only 2 weeks where it really comes down to the wire. So we have
Yep, 2 weeks left.
Bluefish. Look at me. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, guys. All
Love
right.
to see it.
Love to see it. She's making a comeback. So we got Bluefish with 116 points, sitting really pretty nice at the top of the red conference, followed by Team Justin closely behind with 112 points, as well as Seek Guidance with 112 points. A lot of ties. Look at these guys. We got the
Mhm.
Cooler with 108 points, as well as Chaos Theory with 108 points. But literally right behind them is F2L White with 107 points. So I don't know. You guys are literally passing back and forth these couple of points. It's wild. We got Standard THL Degenerates with 81 points, and then Destubs with 74 points. I feel like in both of these conferences that we were just looking over, some of these classic teams are at the bottom this season. So that's just kind of a side. Like if I recognize the name of the team, then they go back a little bit.
Right?
So you know what I mean? Like, oh, the Stubs are down here, but you know what? We all have those seasons. It happens to the best of us. Look at Ron. So
Hey, look, some teams go in cycles, all right? And
Truly.
occasionally they're good, and they're so good, for instance, to use a football analogy, they might have a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl. But then also that same team might lose said Super Bowl and lose consecutive multiple seasons and pick high in the draft because they're terrible now. Not to say that the Stubs are terrible or anything like
No.
that. I
No.
got a lot of love for Oz and the boys, but
Mhm.
sometimes it's just that kind of season. Things don't pan out for you, and then who knows? The very next season with very little changes, you're up at the very top of the standings.
Exactly.
But realistically, I think we're looking at 2 teams in red are all but out of it, and then you have a crazy race between the rest of these, from Bluefish number 1 to F2L White number 6, 5.
Mhm.
Counting is hard.
4, 6, yeah.
6. You've got a difference of like 9 total points. That is insane with 2 weeks to
That's
go.
wild.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That's a lot of spice and a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I do think I would say the Stubs and Standard THL Degenerates don't stand a huge chance in the standing just because every single other team is 26 points at least ahead of them.
Yeah, there's just not enough time to go. If it was
No.
Hero, if there was 4 weeks, maybe, you could argue that, oh, they can play their way in. But at this point, it might be time to just play Dream spoiler to the rest of the teams, which is still fun.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
keep somebody out. If you can't make it, keep somebody out. That's the way to go.
Yeah. And that would be just incredible as we move into Team Justin versus Agent PWE and the
What a transition.
PWE Elementals and the Light Showers. Um, Now, for our first match, Steffi, do you want to tell us about Team Justin versus Agent PWE Elemental and the Light Showers? This is quite a hot match. Two really strong teams in their conferences.
You know what? If you throw something hot my way, I'm not gonna say no.
Fair?
So we're looking at it is because look at the points. Side comment: even though Agent P the light shows only got 8 points this week. I just stopped. 8 points this week. They're still sitting at 109 points. So that is just commendable of their performance of this season thus far. Versus Team Justin, though, coming in hot with that 18 points, securing that like second place kind of tie, pushing their way up the top of the red conference, which was already close to begin with. So let's go ahead and get started. So if we're looking at our 1 seeds, we have always just in time, the captain himself taking that 3-1 victory over Agent PWE, which is not an easy task to do because Agent is always performing. That is one of those reliable players that you can just look to and you're like, man, they're going to perform. But taking that 3-1 is already a good start. We have a Gamer2 dude taking a loss to Nails, however, with 2-3. So earning those 2 points is commendable and important in any match. So you take those 2 points, you take any points you can get. We're going to the 3 seed. We have Wild Rose taking a victory, again, a really close one, 3-2 against Renium Battle. So the 2 points going over to the light shows, again, commendable and necessary. If we go down to the 4th seed, we have Pokemon 661 taking a sweep from the Rotted Zombie, which is surprising to me. But it looks like the last 2 players either haven't been playing that much. I don't know if there was a team switch or if they were subbing in. So I'm not 100%. I can't really speak on that if we're looking at their overall performance of the season. But then if we go to the 5th seed, we have Reynolds taking a 3-1 victory over Eternal. So grabbing the points when you can. Team Justin sitting real pretty. But I mean, the Light Show still has 109 points total. So they're also sitting really pretty. So you got 2 more weeks to still get a few more points to secure your spots. So this was a great week.
Yeah. Really strong showing for Team Justin. I think this is a team, every single one of their players is named Justin.
Yep.
The more you
And
know.
that was their gimmick, but it turns out the gimmick has become more than just a gimmick. It's actually working somehow.
Yeah, Justin's pretty good. Turns out.
So wait, if everybody's named Justin on this team, is everybody named Bluefish on the first place team?
Pretty sure. Yeah, it must be how
Okay,
it logically
that
follows.
checks out. Checks out.
Yeah, all I can say is they are bringing sexy back, though.
All right.
Are they wearing their suit and ties?
See, Steffi is as good as I am at puns, or much better.
We're here all
Solid.
night.
Now, Desharmo, do you want to tell us about our next match? We have F2L White from good old Rebobson versus Comp's Defias Brotherhood, the number 2 team in gold.
Yes, absolutely. We got a good match here: F2L White versus Defias Brotherhood. Defias Brotherhood in Gold Conference, a very good team. Was top of the standings, I believe, at the beginning of the season, but still up there and very likely a playoff team. But F2L White picking up a much needed win here that they need to stay in contention. And they're that 6 team that's fighting for that basically any spot. I mean, Bluefish all the way down to F2L White, in my opinion, are free up for grabs teams. Are up for grab spots. So F2L White, strong showing. What I like about F2L White's team is the sort of PR spread between the 1 and through the 3 seed. And Venus Mamoni really good. I mean, you can go 4-3, and you're a an under 550 PR player, almost 100 points under 550, and getting wins. That's really great for your team because it opens up the other slots, especially in the 3 seed, to have a 463 PR player in that position in Myanodon
Right.
is really strong.
Mhm.
And it allows for a 5 seed in Totino's Pizza, who's really strong as well, to not be at sort of that 50 PR. So I like the F12 white makeup. And I believe that this win sort of shows that they're still, they're not out of it, and they're going to fight to the bitter end.
Yeah.
Believe it.
Any final comments about Red Conference before we talk about the one and only Silver Conference?
Let's do silver.
Let's do Silver. Ron, how is Silver looking? Wallet Warriors and now All Pros missing, taking second place.
That's right. We got APM teams are showing up strong across all series. Um, and All Pros Missing doing very well in that number 2 spot. Wallet Warriors have been holding on to the number 1 for a little while now, and they've been impressive. Close behind APM, we've got Illidan's Death Knights at 111, and those are your clear-cut top 3. The rest of the
Mhm.
teams, weirdly enough, not Justin, hanging on to a number 4 spot with a 2-4-1 record, which is just insane to see that kind of record from a team that is in the number 4. It shows how important points are,
Mhm.
and they've been losing close matches. Very, very close matches. So when they lose, they pick up those 2 points on the other side, and it almost got there. And when they win, they're getting those necessary points that they need from even the players that are losing in their matches. They're staying competitive. Dirty Mike and the boys, very well-known team. Hot Zilfs, defending champs, trying to hang in there, but having a rocky season after the championship. A little bit of a championship hangover, maybe, or just blame Ted, the only new player. Drop Coles, get Big Ted. Mistake.
You get
And
losses. It's
Amber
okay.
Flight Gaming having a very unfortunate season. As mentioned, it's Neji and the Scrubs as it stands right now. If it wasn't for Neji, Amber Flight would be completely out of it. But because of Neji, there's some kind of crazy outside shot with complete tear at the end of the season, and Redfish unfortunately still trying to find that first victory. They are going to be looking forward to next season instead.
Fair. Should we hop into our first Silver match?
Let's do it.
So Ron, we have the Wallet Warriors, first place team in Silver, versus standard THL Degenerates.
All right, so Wallet Warriors versus STD in the cross conference match, and STD, they were runners up, I believe, last season. Had an incredible season, but Wallet Warriors, they're coming in. New season, new team, just on fire. Mojo Powell leading from the 5 seed gets another sweep, and he's sitting there at 7-0, which is just insane.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
David, that's so good.
for real. We've got Nice Year's Owl losing a close one to Mr. Python, always dominant player in the 1 seed for STD, having a strong season. Tavin taking a 3-1 over Jester, and Tavin is having an incredible season of his own at 6-1. Dragon Ninja versus Electric Sheep City was a very close one, going 5 games, and Sam Sees Ghosts versus Corridon, another very close one between two, I think, over PR'd players in the 4 seed. You've got a similar team makeup here between
Right.
these two teams, and it's just
Mhm.
paying off a little bit more for Wallet Warriors at the moment. But close games through a couple, and then Wallet Warriors just kind of taking that little extra and hanging on to that top spot, making sure that they can clinch playoffs.
Yeah. Strong showing by the Wallet Warriors. DeSharmo, what is your thought on this one?
Yeah, again, I mean, Echoing it, a strong showing from Wallet Warriors. They're in that top position for the silver at 5-2, and I think they're in it. They just need to just maintain that first position and not lose that first position. Just kind of keeps them there, and no surprise on the win. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, a lot of Warrior from this team. They finally get to kind of embrace the team's namesake a little bit since Warrior has had a resurgence after
Has
the
some
nerfs. But
relevance again.
Again,
Yeah.
they pretty much clinched, right? Just roll over. Just roll over the next 2 weeks. It'll be fine.
um, yeah, what I do like is the PR spread. It looks exactly the same as the F2L team. You
Yeah.
got that one seed and nice Juicao, going 3-3. And I think if you're under 550 and you can go even, that's excellent because it opens up again that other seeds like Mojo Pal just destroying in the 5 seed.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah, 286.5 is pretty
That's
brutal for everyone else.
stupid. Oh, it's so funny.
Meanwhile, our other match, Steffi, this is the moment where
Mm-hmm.
I give you a match with some hard names to read.
Oh
Are
my
you ready
gosh.
for it?
You know what? I'm here. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we have JR Juggerlaw's Illidan Death Knights versus
Mm-hmm.
Bluefish. How did this match go? Bluefish, the #1 team in Red Conference.
Well, look at this. So Illidan's Death Knight said no thank you to Bluefish. Yeah, because they like you said, they were in first place. And the Death Knights really took a big swing here if we're looking at this breakdown. So if you're looking in the first place team, so we have Earl taking a victory over RoboCats, which is definitely very close. Both of these players are sitting at a 5-2. Score right now, and then that 3-2, all points matter. So congratulations to both players, but especially to Earl for taking that victory. We have JR Juggerlaw, the captain himself, taking a victory 3-1 over A2 Battleship, who is currently 6-1. So that is definitely a feat to be able to take that victory.
Yeah, broke
Um,
that undefeated streak. Nice job, JR.
we got a
Mm.
very strong 3 seed, but I feel like I always pronounce their name wrong. Is it Jespine? 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 Jespine.
Jaspian?
That sounds Jespine. Jespine. I think that sounds fancy. 3-0 hot victory over Hickett. So that is a great. You love that pickup. Really mattered. Really kind of bring your team ahead. Um, they're laughing at me in chat. We have Bitbeaker taking a loss here, 1-3 over Dead Snoop, still taking a point. And then Mighty Biz going 3-2 with Judo Chop. So again, very close. I love those matches that are just like not complete sweeps. It's just like when they're really close. But then I also really love sweeps because they're so spicy and like you feel really good about yourself. But yeah, I mean, Bluefish doesn't have anything to worry about right now. They're doing incredibly well in their conference. And Illidan's Death Knight took this victory to make sure that they're trying to secure their spot. So, yeah, great job to both teams.
Yeah, just a strong showing from Death Knights. It was really important because this puts them in a position where, with 2 weeks left, it's not going to be that easy for them to not be in playoffs. And they
Hmm.
did have a pretty hard schedule from what it looks, so hopefully they're facing some of the teams in the other end of the table.
Right.
True.
Ron, shall we go over our legacy player power rankings? Is it time?
Oh, it's time. Let's do this. All right, so we are going to start off with our honorable mentions. At the top of honorable mentions, man, I don't know how he is only honorable mention at six
What?
and one, but Lawful Dog 6-1, 19-11, incredible season so far. Agent PWE close behind at 5-2, 17-9. Steve, maybe Stev, 5-2, 19-9. Cheesy 10. I guess the PPR must have updated faster because technically Cheesy 10 was 6-1 and just had his undefeated season broken, but apparently this is updated to include his 6-2, so he must have just lost this week. Or I have it on
Oh, you
my
might have a different
sheet
number than
as
I
six
do.
and two.
I have it as
Yeah,
6-1.
So unfortunately for Cheesy, he did actually lose again this week and might get bounced from honorable mentions. But hey, for now, Cheesy, savor it. You're in there for now. And then Jolt C at 5-2, 18 and 11.
Ayo.
Those are your honorable mentions for Legacy.
Those are
But I
quite
think
the
we got some
honorable.
undefeated players to talk about.
Do we? Let's talk about the top 10.
All right, top 10. Let's go from the bottom up. We've got number 10, Classy Thug, 6-1, 20-12. Tavin M close behind, or ahead, I should say, 6-1, 20-11. A2 Battleship, 6-1, 19-10. Nails coming in at 5-2, 19-11. Magnificent at the number 6 spot, 5-1, 17-7. Snipe Hunter, incredible season at 6-1, 19-9. Your Mumked at 5-2, 18-9. Number 3, Epic Mingo, 6-1, 20-7. And what's this? Identical records and game scores. 2 undefeated players up at the top. Number 2, Neji Boston, 7-0, 21-8. And number 1, it's Mojo Powell, killing it in Legacy, 7-0, 21-8. There are your top players for Legacy Player Power Rankings.
That is going undefeated is so hard in Legacy. It's crazy that we have two 7-0 players at this point, especially a 7-0 one seed. This is not normal.
Yeah, I would just like to point out 7-0 5 seed and 7-0 1 seed are here at the top 1 and 2, and we have the top team in all of Legacy in Wallet Warriors has the number 1 player in PPR and Mojo Powell undefeated. And then you have the second to last place team in Legacy Silver with the undefeated Neji Boston in the 2 seed. Sorry, Neji.
Yeah. Well, I want to congratulate the Wallet Warriors and Mojo Powell and Neji Boston and Neji Flight Gaming.
Nice.
Are we ready to talk about Pro, our final series for the night?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Awesome. And let me just make sure that I'm not making a mistake again and my computer's not messing up the matches one more time. Okay. Now, Sharmo, why don't we start talking about Black Conference? We have Brushy Tuna and For the Clowns still on top, and Tuna does get the due to, is it higher or lower? I always mix it up. It might actually be opposite, but the images are set. So tell me about these two teams and how everyone is doing here.
Yeah. For the Clowns and Brushy Tuna up there up top. The Bread Ape not very far behind. We got no pros here as well. But everybody, let's see, Swagoi they're at 84 points, but they're how do you say it? I'm trying to think right now, but they haven't had their bye yet, so they're kind of put them down a little bit. And then Sushi Rats at 3-3, really vying for those top spots. For Brushy Tuna, really sort of struggling the last couple weeks. Lost 2 in a row. They were 4-0 and now 0-2. Not sure if we're going to see their match, but they were very close match this last week.
Yeah.
For the Clowns showing strong and Bread Ape showing strong as well. And we'll see that match coming up here.
Yeah, shall we take a look at Brushy Tuna versus Bread Ape, DeSharmo?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay.
Would you like me to speak about this one, or?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. Yeah, Bread Ape, a team that was, I don't want to say they were struggling because they were 3-2 last week. Brushy Tuna came in 4-1. Brushy Tuna in a solid spot. I think if Brushy Tuna wins this, they're sort of, undeniably going to probably be in the playoffs there. But again, a very close match. I got myself in the 1 seed losing to Heat Shock, Based Inc. An 03 to Valdez. A nice win for Ron in the 3. Going to bump him up to the 1 seed this next week, 3-2. Donde 2-3 versus Avi, and then Lotus Knight picking up a 3-2 versus Ufric. So Bread Ape I believe was last season's champions.
Correct.
Just renamed to a different team. So strong showing by Bread Ape, picking it up when needed. And Brushy Tuna still 12 points on a loss is probably some of the highest points. Probably 14 points, I believe, is the most. And they were almost there. So Brushy Tuna not out of it. I think we'll continue to try to push, but got to give the props to Bread Ape, especially the 1 and the 2 seed Heatshock and Valdis having 11 total wins, almost twice the amount as the rest of the team in terms of wins.
Yeah, Bread Ape really being led by those top 2 seeds, but a very good team that obviously has already proven their championship pedigree. And Brushy Tuna making it close. It was a close call. A lot of those games went down to 5 as well. But I think we're looking at 2 likely playoff teams here. And we will see as the rest of the season shakes out in the last 2 weeks. But the teams below them kind of need to do a lot of work to make it into that conversation, given how little time is left on the season.
Yes. Speaking of teams that still have to work, Steffi, you might know this team a bit. Why don't we talk about Swagoi versus No Pros here?
Yeah, let's do it. Alrighty. So, oh, look at how close. Doesn't that just feel good? Again, I love seeing these close ones because it shows
Right?
it kind of feels like everybody won, but then they didn't, which is I guess not a good feeling, but very close. So we got,
Wise
but you
words.
didn't.
Wise words.
So we got No Pros here. Your mom kid 5-1, killing it, taking a sweep to No Glocko, which isn't a easy task. So really trying to set the tone for your team. Luckily, when it's a team game, it's not just about the individual, it's about the whole. So we're going to see that here with, the second seeds, Agent PWE taking a loss to Glee, to Garrett himself, a 2-3. So very, very close. For we have Kaz? Okay. Also taking a
Quads.
2-3 loss to Molestar. Very close, getting the points when you can because they really do matter. Lil Ninko taking a loss 1-3 to Jared. And then Pumai taking a 3-2 victory over Lanisa. So very close. Again, I love seeing these 3-2 victories and like those kind of battles, making it to that fifth match, while sometimes can be annoying, as we all know and have lived and experienced it. Also feels really good when you get that victory
Mm-hmm.
over there. Like you really put in all that effort. So
Oh, yeah.
congratulations to both teams. They still have about 2 weeks left to really do the most and make the most to get as much points as possible. But again, very close on the total conference score. Anyways, they're literally right next to each other, back to back. So great performances all around.
Yeah, nice little bounce back week from Swagoi there too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There's not much time left as we mentioned, but it's much needed to get as many points as possible, and that was a big one for them, and big for NPH too to not really drop any points in a loss. That's 1 point off of the maximum points you can get in a loss, so that's
Exactly.
pretty good. Both
Yeah,
of
you
these
take
teams
that.
staying in range.
Yeah. Now, there's no time to waste. Let's hop on to Ping Conference. DeSharmo, tell me a little bit about how Ping Conference is looking.
Absolutely. Just wait for it to load.
Sure. We have at the top Aussie Pro Mafia and the 5 Boxing Wizards jump quickly.
Ooh. I think in this conference we see a very similar to Black Conference. You got the top teams in those two as well, and we got Popeye's chicken sandwich. The Sheepy's sort of there holding down the 3 and the 4, but Sheepy's really close to. Oh, actually, Popeye's is 7. They have 7 games, so lower PPW as well as actually Aussie Pro Mafia.
Yeah, it's always confusing with the bye weeks in there, but your
Yeah,
top team is Boxing Wizards, your number 2
yeah,
is Aussie Pro, and then
yes,
Sheepies and F2L right behind.
yep.
Mm.
Yeah, because Boxing Wizards have already had their bye, and they have a whopping 19 points per week.
Oh,
And
they're killing it.
in Pro, having 19 points per week is like prime Patriots level sort of gaming their Patriots, football team. So
Yeah. Tell me again, what is the maximum amount of points you can get in any given week?
it is 24. So they're 5 points off of
Or
maximum for.
23, right?
for their average.
Right,
Is
the
it 20,
20 for the
23?
win and then or 20 for
Sorry,
each game win and then
23.
3
You're right.
if you did like a
Yeah.
full
4 points off.
sweep.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're
they're
right.
actually 4 points off of a full sweep of the opposing team in every single week. That is nonsense.
That's just one
Yeah.
loss.
And they have
Yeah,
one
yeah,
loss, so it's
yeah.
that one loss probably. That's where most of their loss in PPW came from.
Okay, Pink
So this,
Conference. You gotta target. You got a team to target. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shall we look at their match for the week, or any final comments about the standing, Desharmo, before we go there?
No, I think we got this is one of the, again, I think we got some teams, basically I would say the top 3 are probably safe. And then after that, there's like 1 or 2 teams sort of maybe, or sorry, top 4, and then there's 1 or 2 teams that might have a chance.
Yeah,
This
yeah, I
this
agree.
kind
You
of
got like teams
close.
in the mix, and Undivided maybe has a shot at getting in there.
Yeah.
Mancurk's Multiple Wives Group Process and Point Locked. They're probably out of it. Point Locked definitely. Group Process almost certainly. Mancurk's Multiple Wives. I
Well,
don't know. Maybe
this
like double 20 pointers. Is that still out,
well,
or can they get there?
I think Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich definitely has a chance. When you look at their strength schedule over there on the right side, they have the strongest strength schedule, which means they played all the harder opponents first.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Popeyes, I
Yeah, that's a
expect
good
to
point.
make it again, like
so
they
they're
usually do.
they're probably have lower teams the rest of the week. So expect them to sort of win out and maybe possibly get the 4 spot.
So, in looking at the first match, we have the 5 Boxing Wizards jump quickly versus Sheepies. Ron, how do you feel about the 5 Boxing Wizards jump quickly versus Sheepies? How did that match go?
Well, I mean, Sheepies are a really good team, and they had a hard time against the Boxing Wizards here. Donkey, Dardar, Total Orange, just completely dominant all season long, and that didn't change this week. Donkey taking a 3-1 over Why the Hunter, handing Why the Hunter their first loss of the season.
Mm.
Dardar Banks taking a 3-1 over team namesake Cyan Sheepies, and Total Orange taking a very close win. Props to Swanky Pants for almost getting there against Total Orange, but that one went 5 and still went the Wizards' way. Aquaman getting a sweep in the 4, and Refla dropping a game to Always Lethal, who is kind of crazy just to see Always Lethal in the 5, because that is a really strong player and captain of the team. Sheepies, they kind of took over like late or maybe mid last season in Pink Conference as like the top team. And I mean, I don't think there's any better way to show who the new top team is, honestly, than a game like this. Just putting everybody on notice. Look out for the Wizards. They are coming after everybody this season, and right now I'm putting them as my odds-on favorite to win the pro title.
Wow, those are fighting words. I will
That was
move
bold.
us to make sure we don't overextend on our time. So, Steffi, why don't you talk to us about our final match of the night? We have the
Let's
Aussie
do
Pro
it.
Mafia, the team with the most points, not points per week, but points, versus Mancrick's multiple wives. How did the polygamous team do?
Sorry, I'm just laughing at that name. And that was a good chuckle. So, Aussie Pro Mafia really out here pulling in those points. Double sweep always feels good, especially when you're getting a sweep from 2 really commendable players, no less. So, let's go ahead and break this down. So if we're looking over here, we have Reverb taking a loss, a 2-3 loss, no less, but a loss to Wild 9. Currently sitting at 5-1. Not surprised. Wild 9 is a commendable player, very strong. However, going down the second seed, you have Oddlaw taking a 3-1 victory over MVP or MPV, excuse me. You have Quake Lord sweeping Nice Jewish Owl. You see, Nice Jewish Owl was putting all of their efforts into Battlegrounds, so that's why that sweep happened. I'm gonna just say that. because they're very good, very strong player.
Wait, is this the same Battlegrounds that was like a 7th and an 8th?
I don't want to talk about it. Right when I said that, I was thinking about that, and I was like, "Ooh," but it's fine. It's
But
fine.
hey, he got a 7th though, right? That's
He did. You take the like he listen.
something.
He's like what the 8th player in total. We love that. We love that. Love it for him. Um,
Sorry, NJO. Didn't mean to hate on you here.
I'm trying to compliment you. Bone Masher, close game with Jester. Not surprised. Again, another very strong player. 3-2, and then Maxibon taking a sweepy sweep over Lefty. Lefty's having a little bit of a rough season, but still, if we all know Lefty, you know that they can perform. So Aussie really coming in hot this week. That double sweep can just that really does damage. Taking all of those points, leaving no crumbs, if you will. So, but I mean, there are, I believe, 2 weeks as well left with Pro. So the multiple wives really are going to have to put in some multiple effort to accumulate some points to kind of make their way up to the top 6, right? For Pro, do you have to be top 6 to make playoffs?
I think
No,
you need
top
to be
four.
top 4.
Oh, you had to do four.
Yeah,
So,
top 4 in each.
Ooh, you really gotta work. Ooh, you know what? Who knows? I've seen crazier things happen, but yeah.
True.
Nice job, teams. Go Aussie Pro. Go multiple wives. Yay.
I like it.
Now moving to our power rankings, Desharmo, we have quite an exciting power ranking. Pro has been, as always, crazy, and yes, they are mostly comprised of 1 seeds because it is Pro. But Desharmo, why don't you tell
Yep.
us who are our honorable mentions for Pro?
Absolutely. We have 5 really good honorable mentions. And let's see in Pro, we have a lot of very little losses here from anybody. Just so many great players and great positions. We have Wild 9 at 5-1, Y the Hunter 5-1, Total Orange at 5-1, only lost 1 time and only in honorable mention. So it kind of tells
Wow.
you the level of play of some of these teams and players. Then we see some of the other ones, 4-2 at Pascoa, and then finally Pocket Train at 4-2 as well.
That's crazy. The caliber
Yeah.
of Pro is just insane. And do we also see that in most, if not one of them, of the players who made top 10 in Pro?
Yeah, everybody in top 10 has 5 wins at least. One person has 2, and that person in the 10th spot would be Quake Lord, 5-2. Your Mum Kid at 5-1. Gorbage at 5-1. Ray Bobson at 5-1. Valdis at 5-1. Dardar Banks at 5-1. Nails at 5-1. And then we got our undefeated 6-0 Donkey, Myanodon at 6-1. And then Heshok, who just whipped my butt last week at 6-0. Although looking at 18-6, realizing that 2 of those are mine makes me feel a little bit better. But
See?
yeah, but yeah, number 1 spot, Heshok.
Hey, look at Mayan out here scamming. Who let him above Donkey here? What is
What's
this?
he doing?
Although I would say 19-9 probably maybe better than 18-7, but I don't know.
Whoever made this rankings believes so.
And Heshok, no surprise, being 1. A lot of these players you see, it's no surprise, none. Although I will say there are some players in Pro right now who are struggling, who normally don't struggle.
That's true.
You see some people in the 5 seed, and you're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So
I think one of the biggest things that's unusual this season is I don't see a single player from Hype Horizon in the
Right.
PPR this season. And I mean, that's just they've been having a little bit of a rough season, but you know, we probably say it till we're blue in the face. Just Pro is just littered with incredibly good players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you just let off the gas just a little bit in Pro, the other teams are going to take it away. You can't let your foot off the gas at all.
Yes.
You got to go 100% all the time in Pro.
True.
Yeah.
Also excited to see whatever shakeup we might see for player power rankings. Interesting side note: number 8 and number 9 play each other this week.
Ooh. That's
Dun
hot.
dun dun.
I hope Brushy Tuna wins.
Yeah, just casually 3 representatives of Brushy Tuna on this show, like every week.
Yeah, I mean that's why we bring
No
Steffi.
bias
We
here,
need
guys. No
someone
bias.
needs to dunk on us.
Yeah, you know,
Unbiased
I
Steffi is out
despise.
here to help us out. Thank you, Steffi.
Now I will bring us to our main screen, and this is our show for tonight. Since I'm trying this out, I'm going to do a checkout question while you all say goodbyes. And the checkout question for everyone tonight is: Mercenaries is coming in 2 weeks. Have you understood the mode and are you excited for it? And I'm going to start with Desharmo for this one.
Yeah, I understand it now. If it was based off of solely Blizzard's reveal video, that would be an absolute no. I was completely confused and like, what is this? But after watching a couple videos, mainly Trump video, it really kind of helped me pick up how to play that mode. I kind of think it like Pokemon, but Hearthstone, sort of, kind of, not exactly, but it's pretty cool. Am I excited? I would have to say I'm lukewarm about it. I haven't bought anything. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit and see what's how it goes. You know, but Hearthstone has already so many good modes that I enjoy: Battlegrounds, uh, Arena, and then of course Standard.
And who
Just
could forget Tavern Brawl? Yeah, I hear you.
yeah, right. Good. But yeah, so and then you add a fourth game in there. Now I know a lot of people are complaining about the money and whatever, but it's basically another game. It's just
Yeah.
another game.
Yeah.
Duels.
Yeah, right.
I literally forgot duels
I
existed.
I
What is
absolutely
duels?
I
What the hell
hate
is duels? Is that a
if
new mode?
there's a mode to move from the game, that would be duels. I
Yeah.
don't enjoy that at
Duels is
all.
trash. It's just trash.
Fair.
Swing and a miss.
I do want to thank Desharmo though. Thank you. Even though you're very tired, I want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. There was many times that I was like trying not to fall asleep, but sort of try to keep
Solid.
my mind busy.
Awesome. Ron, I want to thank you for joining us tonight as always. And what is your expectation about Mercenaries? Are you excited? Have you understood it?
Yeah, man, happy to be here. For Mercenaries, I gotta be honest, I have not even watched the video that everyone was complaining about. I just heard that it was unclear. I like skimmed through part of it and I'm like, I don't really care to watch this. But I am kind of excited about it. I'm just kind of excited to like check out a new mode with zero information beforehand. Like I really don't care to spend any energy understanding what it is or how to play it
Sure.
beforehand. I just want to play it on launch day completely fresh, get demolished, and then figure out something. So that'll be cool. You know, I'll check it out. I probably won't deviate too much from the modes that are already out there, but who knows? It might be something that's cool and different enough that I might play it some more. So it's always exciting to see like a new fresh thing come in.
Yeah. Steffi, thank you so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun having you. How are you feeling about Mercenaries?
Thanks for the invite. I love being the battlegrounds guru. Um, if I'm being 100%, I haven't even paid any thought to it. I
Great.
um I feel like my time is wrapped around battlegrounds and I've been shockingly getting back into standard again on my downtime. So I don't foresee myself really jumping into it. But that's how I was with battlegrounds too. I didn't play it right away. I waited months actually afterwards and then now I'm obsessed. So who knows what the future holds.
Sure.
Well, 6 months from now, Steffi's gonna be obsessed with mercenaries. Calling
Yes.
it.
Right?
I just
We'll
hope
see.
Mercenaries it doesn't have like a pay gap, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it will.
That's where I'm hoping. Battlegrounds is like is cool because you don't really have to put any money into it, and you're fine.
What about the
Same
Yeah,
thing with
mods?
Bob's just
yeah.
gonna hassle you about, hey, did you know that you could improve your strategy with money? Oh, thanks, Bob.
Awesome.
So what about you, Lotus? Why don't you tell us about Mercenaries?
Mercenaries reminds me of some games I play, and I like those games, but the graphics are a lot better. Plus, they're anime graphics, and I love anime graphics. So that's always a plus. I'm not going to get my anime characters in Hearthstone. That's not going to happen. So I'm curious if it's going to be hype enough for me or not. But it's going to be better than duels. I can say that much.
Nice. I think that's something we can all agree on. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I believe that is it for our show. One final time, I want to thank Ron. I want to thank Steffi. I want to thank DeSharmo. I want to thank Diamond and Geranium for providing us with matches this week. Very helpful. It's a lot less time that I spend on preparing everything. And I want to thank Donde for his BPR takes, always spicy. And we'll keep them coming.
And thank you to Lotus Knight too for running the show. I
Mhm.
mean, you do a really good job, sort of like the traffic cop of our show, just kind of pointing at us, telling us, "Hey, you go, you go, you go." So
Good, I
good
like
job,
it.
Lotus Knight.
Yeah, Lotus is doing
Be-
great.
Better than Garbage and the
I mean,
Sharmo.
low bar, low bar, but still, he cleared it with ease.
Yeah.
Well done.
I mean,
And
I'm just
Steffi,
trying my best.
I enjoy you on the show. I wish you could come every week because you're awesome, and I love having somebody on who's like battlegrounds focused. That's just really cool.
It's my fish. Thank you. You guys are always a great time. So anytime I'm here, I'm always smiling. So thanks, guys.
Hey.
Awesome. Well, that is it for us. Tune again tomorrow for what is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Tavern Talk. And then we have on Thursday, Wild and Out. We have on Thursday match shows. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to play on stream, you can DM me. Always looking for matches. Saku's always looking for matches. DM Saku. DM Fish. Fish is always looking for matches. And there's Maniac Mondays next Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I gotta get that up tomorrow. I believe it's gonna be Wild Last Hero Standing best of 3.
Ooh,
Ooh,
so a
nice.
lot to talk about in
That's
Wild and
fun.
Out. We're going to see that over there. Thank you all for participating. Thank you everyone who watched, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night.
Good night.